I'm Oliver Trevina in studio for The Hollywood Reporter with the lovely Natalie Dormer.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
We were just talking about British lingo.
We were.
Yeah, what was it you just said?
You were talking about swear words.
Yeah, no, you said fibbing.
Oh,
You
I said fibbing.
Which is lying.
Lying, fibbing, yeah.
You were telling me something truthful, and she pointed out the fact that she wasn't fibbing. So anyone watching, there's a bit of British lingo.
We might pepper this conversation with a few British.
What else you got?
words.
What else comes to mind?
What's coming? I said wanky yesterday.
Wanky.
Yeah, and the interviewer needed to check what I was saying.
Okay, I know what you're saying. Let's hope this interview isn't very wanky. It's going to be good.
It's not going to be indulgent. It's not going to be indulgent.
There you go. It's good. It's good. I miss it. I miss words like that. So it's nice to have it back for a minute. No one knows what we're saying. We'll move on.
We better move on.
We'll move on. To important stuff. You're always busy, but extremely busy because this project, In Darkness, co-wrote, produced, starring in.
Yes.
That's a handful.
That is a handful.
Was it a handful?
It was a handful.
Okay. Was it more of a handful than you expected going into it?
It was a huge handful, but it was a wonderful experience, and I'm really, really glad I did it. I learned a lot. So,
I was going to say, I'm sure there were a few lessons in there.
Yeah, there really were. It's a different skill set, writing, taking notes, being a writer, but it's a beautiful thing then to, get a project together, find producers, find talent, find yourself on set, then do the post-production of it as well, because an actor normally just turns up, does their bit, and see you at the premiere.
Right, nice.
Bit of PR.
Yeah.
But no, it was great to do it from start to finish. It was kind of, it was kind of my baby.
Okay. And going back a bit, because knowing the movie, it definitely wasn't, you didn't write this from personal experience. We can establish that much.
I think, Anthony and I wanted to write a movie, the kind of movies that we like watching, and we really like, where it was his suggestion of the genre, actually. Anthony Byrne is the director of In Darkness, who I co-wrote it with, and we love thrillers. We've watched lots of Hitchcock movies, and we watch sort of all those Scandi like thriller shows and everything. We love all that stuff. And from the 70s, some of your viewers might know movies like Clute or The Conversation, and so this is all the stuff we like to watch. And we were like, wouldn't it be great to do a contained contemporary thriller in London, our home? Right. Because when you see London on camera, you can either normally see like a council estate, like the projects as you guys would call it, or you see like Downton Abbey. Right. It's like candy box kind of period London. Right. And we were like, we want to make sort of a film that's a bit of a love letter also to the London that we know, just London, contemporary London, and set a cool, slick, intelligent thriller within that. It is. It's very edge of your seat. It's the whole way through. You're kind of like, go on. Nice. Yeah. I hope so. It is. Yeah. And Sophia, she's got a lot. There's a lot going on with Sophia as well. Yeah. She's not exactly what she presents herself to be. No. Yeah. We can't tell too much. No, we can't tell too much. We can't give it away. But there's a lot there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you think she's a blind pianist who hears a murder in the apartment above her, and so she gets sort of pulled into sort of the underworld of London. But then you realise that she's got her own agenda, and I wanted to explore the idea of about a human being defined by their pain, and that their entire identity has been amassed around a particular want or need and anger, and then what that does to an individual. So, without being too wanky, the script is. I was listening. At no point did I think you were being wanky. I wasn't being wanky. No. Without being wanky, the script is kind of about revenge, forgiveness, sort of redemption, like facing your inner self, and letting go. Ultimately, I suppose. And Sophia's blind. She is. So how was going into that? Hard. Right. No, it was a great challenge, physical challenge. We had a lot of help from the Royal National Institute of Blind People in London. I had some, cane lessons, and I talked and met to a lot of people that are partially sighted and blind, and that was a very healthy learning experience for me to have, to talk to people that live with that on a day-to-day basis. Really stops you taking certain things for granted. Yeah, I was going to say, after doing a day on set, being in that. Yeah. And no, you don't. It's, that's the whole point of being an actor, right? It's meant to broaden your perspective about life. But I mean, I met some really extraordinary people through this institution, through the RNIB, who are, like a charity institution that tries to help people who are losing their sight or lost their sight when they were younger to, navigate the world.
Right.
I don't really know how else to say it.
Right.
And it debunked a lot of my theories. Like, people might be watching the film and like, well, why does a blind person turn a light on? And actually a lot of blind people are light sensitive. And they turn lights on for either security reasons or just like reassurance or stuff like that. And I met partially sighted and blind women that did their own makeup. Like that was fascinating as well. They still take this pride in styling themselves, hair and makeup, and talking to them about that. So I really healthily had a lot. And I met, some lovely guide dogs as well.
Right, guide dogs. Oh.
No, so...
You really learned a lot. It's safe to say, yeah.
No, I
yeah,
did.
During the whole process.
I did learn a lot, in front and behind camera.
Yeah, and behind camera. So you mentioned the casting process as well.
Yeah.
Emily Ratajkowski and Ed. And
yeah.
Very ugly cast, by the way. Very ugly cast.
Very
yeah.
ugly
very
cast.
Ugly, extremely ugly.
Yeah. And the wonderful Neil Maskell and James Cosmo and Jolie Richardson. Really great cast, and they all did it for. Out of the passion,
okay.
It was a small budget, so I'm very.
You kind of touched base on that before the interview.
I'm very grateful.
People sleeping on sofas, and parents' house, and yeah,
exactly. Our crew was sleeping in parents' houses on the sofas to help us, and so I really appreciate that. And Ed, I mean, I don't know what I would have done without Ed because there was never a plan B in my head. It was like I want this role to be Ed Skrein, and if it's not Ed Skrein, then I'm in trouble.
Thankfully, he said yes then.
Thankfully, he said yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about another project, another very happy project. Picnic.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme.
I picked light
stuff.
material.
Yeah, it's good to smile.
Actually, you do say that, but actually, Picnic at Hanging Rock is quite funny in places.
Right.
It is laugh out loud funny in places that people might find peculiar. There's some real good.
I feel like that might just be you, though. I feel like you're the kind of person that does laugh at those really dark, weird moments.
Wry jokes.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of comedy comes from Yale Stone that people will know from Orange is the New Black. She's her character can be extremely amusing at times, and an up and coming incredible young Australian actress called Ruby Reese also adds a lot of levity and a few laughs to the process. But no, other than that, it's kind of another thriller, gothic, surreal. Girls go to a picnic. Right. 3 girls go missing. And a teacher, and the ramifications of that, what happens to the school, this is all the 1900 Victorian Australia, so what happens to the community and the school as when these girls disappear? Are they murdered?
And you're the headmistress?
And I'm the headmistress.
Mrs. Appleyard.
I am, yeah. She's a bit of a bully, so I'm playing against type there.
Totally.
Yeah.
I could see you as a headmistress. I don't know why, I'm just like...
I'm not bossy at all.
No, you're not?
No.
Okay. How was your headmistress at school? Or did you have a headmaster?
No, I had headmistress.
Headmistress, okay.
Yeah, like Appleyard, a bit repressed.
Okay.
A bit, a bit tight.
So that helped?
A bit closed.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, headmaster or headmistress?
Headmaster, very angry man. Yeah, used to hit the desk.
Right.
I'm bringing stuff back now. I'm getting anxious. He didn't used to just hit the desk. No, I'm kidding. Terrible joke. But it's based off a classic.
It is.
So were you familiar with that, or did you have to go delve into that a lot?
I didn't know the famous Joan Lindsay novel from the 60s. No, I didn't. I was aware of the Peter Weir film that was made in the 70s because obviously it's kind of a milestone for a lot of cinephiles. But when I read the novel, I was amazed at actually. There's so much subtext. There's B. Christian, the writer of our show, she was really able to flesh it out because there's kind of a nod and a wink to lots of things, but the book doesn't go there. So she was able to fill in all that stuff. And there's so many characters, there's so much opportunity for backstory lines, and Hester's being case in point. This sort of, she's had some, she's not quite telling the truth about who she is. She's travelled to the other side of the world, to Australia, in the late, in the late 1800s, to reinvent herself. And it's funny, as you go into those 6 hours, you see more flashbacks and you see who this woman really is, and she's definitely selling herself as something more than she once was. Yeah.
Which I can just see in your eyes, you loved playing it.
I did.
You loved it.
I did.
Which is good because Larissa, the director, really wanted you for the part, right?
Yeah.
She actually wrote you a personalised note. Is it
She
true?
did. She wrote me this long-ass letter saying...
I said personalised note. She said long-ass letter.
No, but very, very well written. Lots of good words.
Right.
And basically she was just like, no one can play this other than you, it's got to be you. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get in a corset again, it's too soon. And then I talked with her on Facebook, and I just loved her so much. And you know, when you start watching Picnic, you'll see like how surreal it is, the supernatural elements to it, the fun she has with lights and crystals and water with the lens. And I was like, this woman's got a vision. And when you know your director's got a vision, then
that's always good going into it.
All in.
Right. And it was quite collaborative, right? Didn't she let you? Yeah. And I might be wrong, but she gave wine for anyone that came up with good ideas.
Yeah, you've heard the story.
I've heard the story. Yeah.
She's she's like, and like there's no prejudice. Anyone can have a good idea. You know, cameraman, grip, catering. You know, head of makeup or whoever. So she set the bar early on by going, anyone who comes up with a good idea that gets used on camera, that actually gets shot, gets a bottle of wine.
Brilliant.
I mean, you're in Australia, so it's a good place to be like throwing the wine around. Yeah, she shouldn't have said that. She gave a lot of wine. She gave a lot of wine away.
You can notice it actually if you watch the show very carefully. People are walking a little bit off.
Yeah, that's why the camera's
a little bit off balance. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about corsets, we can't not touch base on it. But Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Who's your money on? How's it going to end? Give us something.
I can't.
You can't. I knew that was going to be an answer, but I have to say it. I know, but I don't know. You might have to give us something.
I'm really excited to see the next season. I'm on the edge of my seat like everybody else is. So I can't wait. I know A to B. I know what B is, but I don't know how.
You don't know how it gets.
I don't know how they get to B.
Okay, but you do know.
I do know B.
Got ya. Okay. So that's all we're gonna get. Nothing. I'll give up there. We're gonna wrap this up with the THR's top 5. 5 easy questions. Movie you watched as a kid that you wish you were in.
Oh, that's great. I don't know. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. If you could turn any TV show into a movie, what would it be?
Any TV show into a movie?
Any movie into a TV show.
Any movie into a TV show. Let's reverse it. Can we come back to that? That's a really important question.
Well, we can come back to it, of course. Have a think. We'll come back to it. We're taking this very seriously. You're not going to win anything, just so you know. There's no prizes. It's a very wanky quiz.
Don't I get a bottle of wine?
It's a very wanky. No, you don't. Stop thinking about alcohol. It's an interview.
I'm
it's
British.
Professional. I know. It's not going to happen. Describe your journey as an actress so far in one word. And no, you can't say that's a tough one. Can we come back to that? You have to answer, but you can think.
Multifaceted. There's a hyphen in there, but it's still one word.
It's still one word. We'll let you take it. I might know the answer to this. If you weren't an actress, you would be.
Well, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an air hostess.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? Okay, good.
Yeah. But then when I was in my teens, I wanted to present Time Team.
Okay.
I wanted to. It's a history show. It's probably on some random channel here.
You can find it online.
Find it online.
Do you when you're flying, because you fly a lot, obviously now.
Yeah.
Do you imagine it from time to time?
I'm really glad I didn't do it.
It's a tough job. One random fact that we don't know about you that comes to mind. One random fact.
One random fact.
You clearly know that you love wine after this interview.
Well, that's not really a random fact, is it? What's a random fact? I was obsessed to dancing to Madonna and Michael Jackson in my bedroom when I was a little girl.
Me too.
Oh yeah, no. So now I'm going to ask you. No, I'm going to ask you.
No, it's
about
not.
The British band.
No, we just get back to this. We're asking at the very end. What TV show? What movie do you wish you could turn into a TV show?
What movie do I wish I could turn into a TV show? One of the old classics, like one of those, I don't know, I was talking about His Girl Friday the other day. It was about a newspaper, a newspaper in New York in the 40s, or Philadelphia Story, or one of those great. I love that era, and I love Katharine Hepburn.
Because you could do this now.
Rosalind Russell. I love those women. So grab one of those those 1940s fun. I need to do some comedy, don't I?
Yeah.
Right? So one of those.
Well, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah,
it was in a very dark place. If you just carry on doing.
I need to do one of those light, Philadelphia's, something along the lines of a light, 40s, funny drama get made into a TV show.
Okay. Love that. Well, now you're producing.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay.
What's next up?
Find someone. Yeah. I'll start pitching. I'm going to start pitching.
Go ask all your friends again.
Right now.
I'm sure they'll be like, yes, we'll definitely do it with that budget. Check her out, Natalie Dormer. Such a pleasure. We could just go on and on, but we're not allowed.
Okay.
They won't let us.
That's a shame.
It's over.